Okay, names in the news. Zach Edey, not the player, the person. Did you know? Because I did not know. Any player who comes from abroad, whether he is a Euro or a Canadian, cannot get NIL money. Zach Edey, because he's on a Canadian educational visa at Purdue, gets no NIL money. And yet the young man came back and played another season. He chided the NCAA over the weekend that you people need to revisit the NIL thing because this is not fair to Canadians. It's not fair to the Euros. Dawn Staley, 3 NCAA championships. USC, now what she's done at South Carolina. And the most unique thing about her, she's a global recruiter. She's got a star from Brazil, kids from the West Coast, including the point guard from Oceanside, kids from the Deep South. I mean, she's right there on the horizon of becoming one of the best in women's college basketball. USC, Eric Musselman. This will be fun. He's unique. He is pushy. He goes get players. Eric Musselman's cupboard is almost totally bare. Virtually everybody has exited from USC. It'll be fascinating to see how quickly he's going to be able to reload that. Speaking of coaching, John Calipari pushed out at Kentucky, winds up at Arkansas today on a contract that's going to be worth about $8 million per season. His time had come at Kentucky. I don't know whether he got lazy on the job or he just thought, well, I'll try to win with 5 McDonald's All-Americans every year and they'd be one and done and gone. A lot of pressure on him the last couple of years at Kentucky. I don't understand this. Bronny James, now he announces he's filing for the NBA draft, or he might go into the transfer portal, but he's not coming back. He should come back and play for Musselman because he'd be a cornerstone player, and Musselman would teach him a lot about the college game. How anybody who averages 4 points a game and got benched as a starter thinks he's ready to go to the NBA because he's LeBron James royalty, that's crazy, but I think he's making a mistake. Rashee Rice, wide receiver, Kansas City, he's in huge trouble. They're about to hit him with 7 different traffic violations, including a felony, leaving the scene of an accident. He and a friend who were drag racing and caused a 6-car crash, leaving the scene of an accident where people were injured, and he was the one that caused it. He's in big trouble with the law, bigger trouble with the NFL. I don't know this guy. His name is Eric Johnson. He's the mayor of Dallas. I don't know what he's smoking, what he's using. The mayor of Dallas announced over the weekend he is going to pursue the Kansas City Chiefs to, quote, bring them home. Eric Johnson, the mayor of Dallas, wants a second team. He'd have to fight through Jerry Jones, territorial stuff. You know, the Kansas City Chiefs have a lease that runs through 2030. There's no place for them to play in Dallas yet. Eric Johnson is of the opinion, we'll build them a stadium and we'll bring them home. Hell, they only played in Dallas 1 year in the old AFL when they were the Dallas Texans. What's he doing? What a waste of time. Anyhow, those are names in the news. And John Riley says,
the Zach Edey comment about the NIL money for international players surprised me. And I'd imagine that affects like Camila Cardosa at South Carolina because she's from Brazil. And it just goes to the fact that they've got to reform this and they got to fine tune it and get it right. But this is America. This is where people come for opportunity and they're shutting them down. That doesn't make sense to me. Dawn Staley, what a run. I mean, you got to congratulate her. I mean, and then the other comments, Musselman, I love that guy. I think he's entertaining. He's a feisty. He's a winner. He's like a little guy with a chip on his shoulder that knows how to rally the troops. So love seeing him come back home to Southern California. And
but he's going into the Big Ten. He's going into the Big Ten. He is going into the Big Ten with no players.
Well, yeah, but, you know, we'll see what he does. I mean, he's just going to get started here, but it's a big opportunity for him. I mean, I think this kid went to USD. He coached at Nevada, and then he coached at Arkansas. And I guess he has a lot of NBA experience, too.
Well, his father was Bill Musselman, coach of the Cleveland Cavaliers. Prior to that was head coach, University of Minnesota. He is a basketball junkie. Your thoughts on Bronny? Your thoughts on Rashee Rice?
I'm rooting for Bronny to make a good decision because I'd love to see the James family legacy continue. And the Dallas thing, you know, with the football, I mean, there's no way Jerry Jones is going to let another team come into his marketplace. Kansas City and the Chiefs are too, you know, they're melded together. The team that I worry about is more the Royals than the Chiefs in terms of moving out of town.
But they might move across the border because Kansas City, Kansas is like 12 miles away from downtown Kansas City, Missouri. So it wouldn't be a tough commute. But they'd have to build a stadium, and I don't know that has been finalized then. So listen,